Good morning students. In the previous class we discussed about units of radioactivity and measurement of radioactivity. Now the new topic is measurement of stable isotopes. So here we are going to measure the deuterium by using falling drop method. So here falling drop method for the determination of deuterium concentration in the water samples. So it is the principle is as same as the developed by Krishnabam in 1932. So here we will take a drop of water and immersed in the column, and which is filled with a fluorotoluene at a temperature of 25 degrees centigrade temperature. Okay, so here we have to know different types of methods. So first we can take the falling time instead of stopwatch. So here we will take two light pulses LEDs to a photomultiplier which having the mirror. So here we can take a chart paper and these two pulses are marked over the chart papers. Then the distance between the two pulse marks is proportional to falling time. So instead of water filled double chamber of constant temperature, it is equipped with heater, and these thermostat and propel for stirring continuously. The column is dipped in a circulating water supplied for a thermoelectric, and it is made by a Sharp company. So which is circulate constantly temperature water is cooled or heated with the thermo elements. To actually there we will very few liquids that immiscible with the water that having proper density and also viscosity. So for this purpose we have to select the liquids which having proper density and the viscosity. So here we will take some of the materials like fluorotoluene, and we can use tetrafluorotoluene. So here these do not change their density or viscosity basing upon the evaporation. This type of substances used in the column, we can add the deuterium and we can know or assess the concentration of the deuterium. So actually in the water what we used here areas, so deuterium concentration will be very low. So here basing upon the temperature and the evaporation, there will be change in the concentrations of the deuterium. So here the concentration of water sample is increases, the range of deuterium concentration in our case was 20 to 60. Here sensitivity is increased as the medium temperature decreases and as a deuterium. So this is about the falling drop method for deuterium measurement. So next topic is applications of radioisotopes. Here we have different types of applications. So in the case of or in the branch of scientific research and analytical researches, and we have the diagnostic and therapeutic purposes of radioisotopes. So in the scientific researches, by using these radioisotopes we can analyze the organisms which the research are going to be held correct or in the wrong process. In the researches like monoclonal antibodies, also we can use these radioisotopes. So first, radioisotopes in biological sciences. So this is the topic which is present in your syllabus. So it is used for the tracing metabolic pathways. So here metabolic pathways means what? So if we have different types of metabolic pathways like digestion and also excretion. These are some of the pathways in our body. So when some of the components is mixed with the radiolabile substances or substrates, the sample of the experimental material and collected samples are various times of intervals. So if we are going to assess some of the enzyme, is it working in our body or not? So this radio labeled isotope is attached with that enzyme and inserted in the organism, like animals. First we are starting the experimental in some of the animals like rat and mouse. So we can insert it in it and we can observe by using some of the radio label computers. So by using these methods we can assess the metabolic pathways of some of the organisms. So these can be extracted or separated by the product of by chromatography. So some of the important metabolic pathways, and we can observe the fate of cells. So here fate of cells means we have in our body different types of cells are present. So for example, if we take blood, so in our blood or in the or in blood cells we have different types of cells like RBC, WBC and platelets. So the number or the amount of the cells can be observed by using this technique, and it is also used to assess different types of steps during different types of cycles in our body. For example, in the TCA cycle and also in the glycolysis cycle, how the enzymes are going to give some of the importance. For example, in the glycolysis, if we take first step, glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate. Okay, so the conversion, how the conversion will be followed by using some of the radioisotopes. First it was discovered, and now we are studying about these pathways. So before knowing these pathways, they are studied basing or using these different types of isotopes. So here it is possible to predict the fate of individual carbon atoms of a state through a TCA cycle, and it is used to develop to isolate intermediates of cycles and to ascertain the distribution of carbon atoms with each intermediate. This is called specific labeling patterns. The next one is, so we can know the turnover times. So radioisotopes are used in ascertaining the turnover times of a particular compounds. So here for example, a group of rats is injected with a radio labeled amino acids, left for 24 hours and allowing to assimilate into proteins. Okay, these rats are killed at suitable time intervals, and radioactivity in the organs or the tissues of interest can be determined. So what we will do here, so we are inserting some of the radio labeled amino acids into the rats and allowing them to assimilate. They will convert it into proteins. Then these suitable time of intervals, we can assess the radioactivity in the organs or tissue of these organisms. That can be called it as turnover times. Okay, so then the analytical applications of radioisotopes. So here I already said about the enzyme reactions. So here the enzyme reactions can be assayed using radioactive tracer methods. So here if we take a enzyme, so we don't know the purpose or the reaction of that enzyme. Then we have to attach this enzyme with the radio label isotope. Then we can insert it into the some of the organism. For example, if we take a rat, we have to insert into that rat. So by using some of the actions, we can assess by or we can know the enzyme reaction. So how it will be ligand and how it will be attached to the membranes or receptors. So this is one of the process to assess the enzyme reaction. The next one is isotope dilution studies. So here we can know the volume or unknown volume of some of the concentrations. So for example, if we take a plasma, okay, So it is present on our blood. Okay, so we have to know the concentration of the plasma. We can dilute it. After through a mixing, the concentration of radio tracer is estimated. So here we can indicate it in the equation V is equal to capital N by N. So here V is the volume to be measured and N is the total number of counts injected, and small n is number per count per ml. Okay, so this is called isotope dilution analysis. So here not only that, in remaining we can study the membrane transport studies. So here in the membrane we have different types of ions. So how these ions will be carried out can be also assessed by using these studies, and we can use iodine 131 is labeled human serum albumin, is useful in diagnosing protein losing entropy. So here we can use chromium 51 for labeling RBC, and we have to know, or we can assess the intravenously if there is any GI blood loss or radioactivity can be measured by using chromium 51. And the next one is radio immunoassay. We called it as RIA, or also called it as RIA. So it is useful in the analysis of different hormones, growth factors, tumor markers, cytokines, and also in the bacterial antigens. So this RIA is useful for the assessment of some of the diseases which are produced by some of viruses. So for example, if we have some of the doubt about a person having HIV, so this HIV is first this disease was come by one of the microorganism, that means virus. So here the virus detection is also done by the RIA. So here we will use isotopes, radio labeled isotope. We have take that person's blood, and by using this RIA technique we will assess the disease present or not. We can assess by giving positive or negative test for them. If the person have positive, the person is with that disease. Okay, so we can also detect some of the vitamins and some of the bacterial agents or antigens in the body of a organism. So here radio labeling must not interfere with the or binding with the antigen and antibody, and it has to be compared with the unlabeled ones. So here, and we can use these radioisotopes in the diagnostic purposes and imaging. So here these radioisotopes also used in the X-ray systems, and we can assess different types of diseases like thyroid. So and also we can diagnose some of the diseases like cancer, some of the syndromes, and we can assess different types of genetically disorder diseases also. So here we can know function of status of thyroid tissue, and including nodules and whole thyroid glands and metastatic foci. So here by using iodine 131 is used for thyroid cancer imaging and also management of some diseases, and we can use iodine 123 is for the thyroid scanning. So here next one is Schilling test. So here we can assume the malabsorption of vitamin B12. So it is used for the measurement of urinary radio level B12, and following the saturation dose of non-label stable B12. So here we will use 1000 μg of non-labeled B12 and 1 μg of labeled B12 in a which is given orally. Less than 5% excretion of radio labeled Dose indicates malabsorption of B12. So that is called chilling test. So next one is fluorodeoxyglucose. So we call it as FDG and PET. Here helpful in the detection of iodine 131 negative thyroid carcinoma. So here the other one is strontium 89 and samarium 153 are two radionuclides that are preferentially taken in bone, particularly sites of new bone formation and capable of controlling bone metastasis. So, and next xenon 133. It is useful in the lung functioning test and is useful in diagnosing malfunctioning of lungs and how the lungs and how the ventilation of lungs will be going on. That can be studied by using xenon 131. And the next one is idohippuric acid, so which is used to diagnose the kidney infections and also used to diagnose the kidney blockages or the imbalance of functions between two kidneys. So if there is any blockage in the kidney or nephrons, and if there is any infections in the kidneys and any dysfunctions or non-functioning of kidneys can be assessed by idiopuric acids. So this also used in therapeutic uses like we have to management of malignance and the tumor tissues are attacked by beam of radiations. So if a person having some of the cancer or skin cancer, this person is exposed to the beam of radiations. When the beam of radiations is exposed to the person, actually the cancer is formed by the tumors. Okay, the tumors are the collection or the group of cells. So actually the cells are present every part of the body. In some persons, these tissues or the cells formed into group. That group is called tumor. So to remove this tumor, we expose that person in front of the radiation. So to removing this cancer, we will use the beam of radiations. So from outside and the internal. So from within the body. So one is external source and the other one is internal source. So the first external source is radioactive material is impregnated into the body in form of beads or needles or as surface applicants. So for example, if we take cobalt 60 for cervix encapsulated in gold or silver needles, wires, rods or cylinders. By using this way different types of methods, by using needles or we can use wires, we can insert it into the person. This is one of the external source. And the next one, we can use in place of cobalt, we can use P32. So it is used or applied to paper or polythene sheet for superficial agnemosis, so mycosis fungoides and keratosis. These are the different types of diseases which is actually we will say these are different types of cancers. So these also can treated by using these external sources. And the next one is SR90 applicators is used for lesions of cornea and conjunctiva, and also we can assess the sclera which having some of the lesions in that area. Okay, then next and we can use the telepathy. So teletherapy. So here cobalt 60 is the source of radiation. So here radiation occur from a distant source. The next one is internal source. I already said about the external source. Next one is internal source. So first one is regional applications. So we can use AU48, that means gold, is used for the treatment of malignant pleural or peritoneal effusions. So pleural or peritoneal. Peritoneal means skin. We call one of the example is skin. So these effusions can be treated or by applicating this gold. The next one is IV applications. So we will use gold in the form of a tiny ceramic microspheres which is deliver local radiation to the tumor cells of lungs and which is prostate and hepatic and also bones. So here where the tumors which are present in the lungs, prostate and hepatic and in the bones, these can be treated by using AU 198. This is one of the regional application which is the internal source of a organism. And other radioisotopes like cobalt 57, it is used to diagnose the pernicious anemia, and the cobalt 60 is used to study the study the cancer treatment, and it is also used to food irradiation, and it is used during the food packing, and it is also used in the sterilization of different surgical instruments like syringes and some of the bottles which is including in the sterilization materials. And cobalt, and next one is copper 67. When is injected to monoclonal antibodies into a cancerous patient, this helps the antibodies binds to and destroy the tumor. And the next one is gallium 67. So it is used in the medical diagnosis, and iodine 123 is widely used to diagnose thyroid diseases. We have different types of hormones, that different types of hormones concentration also can be assessed by iodine 123. And here it is the other metabolic disorders can also be assessed by iodine 123. And the next one is iodine 125. It is majorly used diagnostic tool, and it is used in the clinical test like different types of diseases and different types of cancers, and it is also used in diagnosis of thyroid disorders and different biomedical researches. And the next one is iodine 121. It is used to check some radioactive counters in vitro. So in vitro means lab conditions and diagnostic testing laboratories. And the iodine 131 is used to treat Graves disease. So that is one of the thyroid disorder. So for treating this we can use iodine 131. And the next one is iridium 192. So in brachytherapy or tumor irradiation we can use this iridium 192. And phosphorus 32 and phosphorus 33 we can use in many types of diseases to treat different types of diseases, and we can use in the food, and we can use fate of cell in the fate of cell, and we can use in the distribution studies. So this distribution studies means it consists of administrating or the introduction of radioisotopes in the system of the organisms. So by using this we can study different types of parts of the body and the different areas of a organism. So for example, iodine. So iodine is an important isotope in the thyroid physiology test. By using radio labeled I-131, we can introduce into the system. We can examine the iodine uptake, and the release of thyroid gland can also be studied in the iodine 131, and we can use the phosphorus in different places of studies like fate of cells, metabolic fate, and metabolic transfusion and membrane transfer systems, we can use this phosphorus 32 and phosphorus 33. Thank you.